Okay, this video is about how to draw a dragon. Everybody loves to draw dragons. So anyway, I'm going to break it down into very simple shapes like circles mainly, and we're going to go from there. I'm going to start with the body and kind of branch out with legs and neck and tail. The center of the body is going to be the shape of kind of like a raindrop, if you will. Kind of like that, maybe like a candy corn. The chest area is going to be an oval. A fairly large oval. The chest of the dragon is going to be a little bit bigger than the hips. So then I'm going to go in and I'm going to do a pretty perfect circle for the hips right back here. So that's we're already kind of getting this like, very strong chested sort of crouching dragon. Okay, the legs are going to look like this. I'm going to have the front leg go back and then down. So back and then down. You want to make sure that the legs look big enough to support this, already kind of huge body. In fact, the front legs are going to be kind of massive. Okay, at the bottom, I'm going to do a half circle for the foot. You see this down there? Yeah. So a half circle for the foot. You can get more detail with the feet later, but for now, we're just going to leave them as a half circle. All right, then I'm going to draw in a large oval here for like that strong shoulder muscle. And then a long skinny oval here for the bottom part of the leg. Like a horse, they will kind of have a lumpy area at the back of their leg if you want to add that in. I don't know if all dragons do. I guess all dragons are someone's imagination, so my dragon's going to. Okay, then we're going to draw another front leg. It's like this dragon is sort of crouching with its arms out like this. So the other front leg, we are only going to see the bottom portion of the leg. So it's just going to come down out of here, and then we're going to see a half oval for the foot. And then draw in this oval right there. I am overlapping the body right now, although later this will be erased, okay? All right, for the back legs. The back leg that is on this side of the body, we're going to start with. It's going to go forward, back, and then down. It is going to end maybe slightly higher than this front leg. And the reason it's ending slightly higher is because I think the front legs have a wider stance. So they're just coming more out towards you. All right, so I'm going to go forward on a diagonal. Pretty much, well, no, back on a diagonal, and then straight down like that, and then that's where my foot will hit right there. So then I'll have a half circle foot, and then I'm going to draw in a fairly large oval for this thigh, fairly large oval here, and a long skinny oval there. The overlap is totally necessary. You need to overlap the body, and you need to overlap the previous oval. Otherwise, these legs will look like part of a paper doll that's like, pinned together with strings or something weird. Okay. All right. You guys probably didn't play with paper dolls, but moving on. All right, next thing we're going to do is the back leg on the opposite side of the body. We are only going to see the bottom portion of this leg. So it's going to go back and then down and then half oval for the foot. I'm going to draw in this oval, draw in this oval. Okay, we're going to go in and draw the neck and the head, and then I'm going to smooth up forms, okay? So the neck is going to look just like an S. Or actually, I guess it's a backwards S. Yeah, it's a backwards S. So it's going to go like this, okay? And then I'm going to draw, oh, you know what? I'm coming pretty close to the top. I'm going to move down a little bit because I do have some head details I want to do there. So I'm going to go up and over. Here's going to be my dragon head there. I'm going to do 2 lines for my neck, one on this side and one on this side, going right down into the front of the chest right there. So this front one needs to open up kind of wide at the bottom, okay? All right, now I am going to switch colors. I'm going to switch to red, not far off. But anyway, and then I'm going to outline the dragon to sort of smooth up the forms. Yeah, all right. So I'm just going to start from here. This is already pretty smooth. Right down into the chest. You want this chest line to look like it comes in front of that back leg. Goes smoothly down into that front shoulder. And nice and smooth down into the dragon foot. I'm going to add that little notch. One fun thing I like to add on my dragons is like a little hook at the back of the elbow. If you guys want to add that in. The belly is going to be nice and smooth, kind of a nice smooth curve from circle to circle. I'm not going to really see all those indents. Kind of the same with the back. The back is going to be a little bit smoother too. Not much smoother though, because I like for my dragon back to look kind of rugged, I suppose. Okay, now the butt is going to come in front of the leg on the opposite side of the body. So I'm going to trace over that dark so you can see that that comes in front of that area. Let's see, I'm going to add that little hook on the back of the leg and the lump on the back of the ankle and really smooth up this area going from one to the next. Okay, so now we're looking more like one fluid shape of a dragon. I do also like to give his foot kind of like a little bit of a toe bump. Like if you give him like a little impression of like a toe kind of coming up there, it tends to look more like a realistic dragon foot. Yeah, like that. I'm just gonna give him that toe bump on all of them. Oh yeah, forgot about you back here. There we go. Little bump at the back, little hook at the back. Yeah, now we're looking very dragon-like. Okay, so next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do some work on the dragon's head. A lot of work. Okay, the dragon snout is gonna look like a trapezoid. You know, like a rectangle that gets smaller at one end? All right, so I'm gonna start with a trapezoid like this. There's my dragon snout. And then the back of my dragon's head is going to have something that resembles a crown. It's going to go up and over the neck, like so, and connect back into the bottom jaw. So it goes right from the top of the head into there, goes down into the bottom jaw like a crown, okay? The next thing I'm gonna do is do 2 horns for my dragon. I like the horns to be kind of subtle, like not super sharp and obnoxious. So I'm gonna do one there and just a little small one for the other side of the head. All right, now we're gonna draw our dragon eye. I like for the dragon eye to end up a little bit mean, a little bit angry. So I'm gonna do a diagonal line that comes up and over like this. So I start with a half circle, up and over, and then I will still do my glare, or my white area in the eye. So start with like a half circle, up and back, kind of like so, white area. Now you don't need to shade this in with your pencil. I would do it later in whatever medium you're coloring in with, markers, paints, whatever. All right, now I'm going to round up the dragon's nose, and I'm also gonna bring the top jaw out a little bit. So his top jaw is gonna come out here with kind of like a smirk. I don't really want to smile, I just want to smirk. So his nose is now looking a little bit more like this, kind of like that shape. And then I'm gonna have the bottom jaw is gonna be kind of subtle, kind of smooth, just like that, okay? So I'm just gonna round off this corner, and the bottom jaw doesn't really need a whole lot extra. That top lip is a little bit obnoxious. I'm gonna make that a little bit smaller. Okay, there we go. Now we're gonna do dragon nostril. For our dragon nostril, you really just need, kind of like the same as we did on the unicorn, if you drew the unicorn with me. Okay, so I'm gonna do like this. So it's just like a little loop-de-loop. All right, I think that we are ready now for wings and tail. Let's go ahead and throw on the tail, because that's pretty easy. So the tail is gonna be huge. You want the tail to almost balance the weight of like all of this happening there. I want a ginormous tail. Okay, so I'm gonna start at the top of the back right here, and I'm just gonna go way out, all the way to the bottom of my paper. And then I'm gonna start here where the legs meet. I might even overlap that back leg, because we really want this tail to be thick, like very thick for a while. You do want it to get thinner as it goes. So you want to make sure that as you go along, you're gradually getting thinner and thinner and thinner. Like so. That is a huge Mongo tail. Okay, all right. Next thing we're going to do are the wings. I'm going to do the wings in orange. I don't know if you can even tell the difference between the orange and the red, but I'm going to do them in orange. Then I'm going to add in some more details, maybe with the red. Next, scratch. So I'm going to do backwards. Okay, I'm going to do the red first. All right, so for my wings for dragons, they're gonna look more like a bat wing, kind of sharp and pointy. So I'm gonna come up from here, go up and out, and then here, it's gonna look very similar to that crown-like shape that I had up here, like that sort of in and out curvy kind of look. And then I'm gonna draw one more wing. This one's coming from the opposite side of the body. So it goes up almost as tall, not quite as tall. I'm gonna drop here. And then you're gonna see these little pieces kind of come out from there. You might even see one, like maybe just a little tiny piece right there so you can see the wing on the opposite side. The next thing I like to do is I like to draw the bone structure inside the wings. Because with bats, when their wing kind of folds in, you see those bones kind of come together. I guess you see the bones if their wing is stretched out as well. So from these little pointy areas, I'm going to do a line that goes into there. And you don't need to take it all the way up. You can just take it a portion of the way if you want. And then you know what I'm actually going to draw? Maybe I'm going to have the bottom of the wing come up a little bit from the body so you can see like a gap in there. I think you probably want to see a little bit of that back wing underneath it. Now one cool thing I like to do with the dragon wing is I like to draw a hole in the wing where it looks like maybe it was burned or something in battle. So I'm going to draw a hole, like right up here, kind of like a big hole. I'm going to erase the line of that bone structure in there, and then I'm going to pretend like you would see a little bit of that wing in the background. So you're going to see, like, I'm going to shade this area in dark. So this area is wing that you're seeing. And then where that line is, that's just like dead space in the background. And then same thing with this area. You probably want to give that wing some shadow, some texture. I'm doing hatching lines, which is just like repeated lines over and over again to create the feeling of shadow. Yeah, so kind of like that, just creating some repetitive lines. Where the lines thin out, where there's less lines, this is looking like less of a value. See where there's lots of lines, it's a very dark value, and as the lines get farther apart, it's getting a little bit lighter, okay? All right, so that is pretty much it with the dragon. You would do like the same we did on the unicorn, where you now go in and you erase all those lines on the inside. And then when you do this, it kind of exposes you know, that one fluid shape as opposed to looking like a bunch of little piecey shapes put together. I'm going to erase the connection where the tail connects to the body. But I do want the body to go in front of those back legs. So the chest should go in front here. The butt should overlap that back leg there. Okay, so that's pretty much it. There's your dragon. Oh, I forgot this guy again. Poor little back leg. All right. Oh, by the way, if you want to add like fire or flames or smoke or castles in the background, mountains, feel free to add those in.